All right, and then my dad calls me. I get a phone call, still in Australia. Baby, we've got a problem with Bob. Don't panic, I promise, but we do have a problem with Bob. Okay, maybe that sounded worse than what maybe it is. I don't know. Oh my gosh, guys, yes, it has been a crazy few weeks. As we were leaving Australia, we got word that Bob got hurt. So, come on, let me tell you a little bit about how this all unfolded. Hey guys, it's Robin, the Lady Biker. How's everyone doing today? Well, yes, Bob has been hurt, or he was hurt. So this has been a couple of crazy weeks. We finally have got everything settled out, and I thought I would come on. If you've seen some of my shorts, you know I've kind of shared a little bit, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about what happened, why it happened, and just give you all the lovely details. So let's start at the beginning. So when we moved to Australia, there was no way we could get Bob shipped over, and honestly, he would have never passed inspection there in Australia as an import. And so my dad kept him. And if you know the story about Bob, he's a beloved bike, so Dad was so heartbroken to do that. Dad gets a beautiful sunny day, gets out in the hill country, throws his leg over Bob, gets out riding, he's out on the back roads, and the wheels start locking up on him. Kind of scary when he's riding, because it wasn't just a slow bogging down. It was pretty rapid that the wheels locked. Dad was able to get him safely to the shoulder. He was fine. They got the wheels loosened enough. He called a buddy. The buddy brought a trailer. They got Bob up on a trailer and took him into town. After asking around to some of the local riders, he was referred to Eli at Bad Attitudes Cycle there in Fredericksburg. Took Bob over, and he and Dad hit it off. Eli said, not a problem, I'll take a look and let you know what's going on. A few days later, Eli calls and says, Ronnie, I'm so sorry to tell you about your bike. And he went, dude, it's not my bike, it's my daughter's bike. And Eli said, oh, that makes it worse. What had happened was they checked everything on Bob. They thought everything was good. They checked the drivetrain, the belts, everything, the calipers, the brake pads. Everything looked good. They could not find any specific reason why the wheels were locking up. And takes Bob out. Everything looks great. As Eli's coming back into the shop, turning into the shop, the wheels lock. And Eli goes down on Bob. Now the good news of this is Eli's fine. No human in this was hurt or injured, thank you. However, Bob took some damage. As you can see from some of these clips, it's been primarily just cosmetic damage, but he did take some damage. So they get Bob back into the shop, and as they start looking, they find and discover it was the fluid in the brake lines. Now, I don't know how many of you really track how often your shop that you do, or if you do your own work, how often that fluid is changed. But as I am learning that even with the .5 fuel, the brake lines do need to be flushed and the fluid replaced at least every 2 years. Because if the viscosity of that brake fluid gets too thick, it will basically lock up your brakes. They will clamp down and they will not release. That's what happened with Bob. So that's the bad as he went down. The good news is we now know what to track and how to prevent this from happening. So customer service or public service announcement, make sure that you do that. But the customer service that we received from Eli and from Bad Attitude Cycle was second to none. Once he figured out what happened, Eli in good faith took care of everything. He was just, the customer service that he provided was beyond anything I expected. And the work he did on Bob, check out how Bob looks now. I mean, he really looks better than new. He looks amazing. And this is the kind of customer service and quality of work that I will tell you, my entire family that are in the hill country area of Texas that ride will take their bike to no one else after this. That is the kind of service that was provided. I mean, it's even to the level that if my girls were riding, I would send them to him if their bikes needed repair work. that's how much, I mean, it was just beyond. So hoping to get an interview with Eli coming up in the future, because he really has a great setup and a lot going on in the area. But guys, that's what's been happening with Bob. He's back to new, he's back to finding shape. I cannot wait to get some saddle time with him. But guys, out there, any of you who, especially those of you who have been riding for a while, have you ever had an issue with your brakes? And if so, what happened? How did you fix it? And what recommendations would you give to a new rider? And if you're a new rider, what questions do you have to prevent something from like this happening to yourself and your own bike? Because you don't want to be in the middle of some kind of rush hour traffic in a big city and have something like this happen, because that is guaranteed to be the worst. All right, guys, well, that's about it. Now you know what has happened, especially if you've seen some of my shorts, what's been going on with Bob. I'm just so glad that everything that happened was fixable, that we had a great shop that we could trust, and he's back on the road. So guys, with that, I hope that you're gonna do what I'm gonna be doing soon as I can get to Bob here in a couple of days. Get out and ride. When you do, have fun, be safe, and I'm gonna see you on the next video. Bye.